Hello everyone, this is the Salary Woman. I've been living in Japan more than 3 years so far, studying at the university, working full time and part time, and I want to share the experience of building a career in Japan with you. So, to start off with my background and how I get in Japan, how I found a job here. So I was born and raised in Ukraine, in a small city. I finished high school there. I went to the university there. I got my bachelor's degree in Japanese language and literature. And my next step was getting a master's degree. I wasn't quite sure what to do with my career. So I went to the US. I got MA in also Japanese literature and religious studies. And at that point, I was completely confused on what to do with next, how what kind of job I can find. So naturally, I decided to pursue path in academia, just like a lot of my peers did. So I wanted to study in the US also for the PhD. But before that, I kind of felt like I need to go to Japan at least once. So I studied so long, I studied Japan so long, but I've never been to Japan. That felt really wrong to me. So I wanted to spend at least 1 or 2 years doing research there. So I was quite lucky to win a Max scholarship. This is, some of you might know, this is the scholarship from the Japanese government that covers tuition fees and living fees of students who live in Japan. I was supposed to go to Japan in April 2020. And do you remember what happened there? Exactly, Corona was in full swing. Everything was closed, airports were closed, nothing worked, no visas were issued, and I was stuck first in the US. Then I went back to my country. I spent around 1 year just hanging there, and I was able to go to Japan finally in 2020 first summer. So this is when the Japanese story began. So after getting to Japan, I was actually admitted to the University of Tokyo. I studied intellectual history, and at that point, I started feeling like academia is not for me. I had amazing teachers, amazing senseis, but I really felt like just like reading books, writing about that, it's really not my cup of tea. I was interested not only in like literature, humanities, even though I majored in it, I was really interested in like science and like making impact to the world. So I naturally started like finding other options. So I really didn't know what exactly I want to do, what kind of profession or career I want to develop. And the only thing I knew, I need to get out of academia. So after a certain age, I would become not as employable. So that was my chance to like get into the industry. And I just started applying for different companies. And that might be a good thing that I didn't know what to do, because in Japan, you usually do not apply for a position as a fresh graduate. You apply to the company itself, and then the company would find a suitable job for you. So let's say you really want to work in digital marketing only. There are companies that would accommodate your desire, the companies that would not, and you might end up in like sales. So this was a kind of system that I was aiming for, just to try like different things. And my job hunting wasn't as smooth when the job hunting process started. The Ukrainian war broke, and I was not in a good mental or physical state to continue like a nice, productive job search. So I ended up procrastinating it a little and messing up the timing of my application. But eventually, I got a job at a manufacturing company in Kansai. This is an area in Kyoto and Osaka and Nara. And I moved there for my job. And the job was a marketing job, which I kind of was interested in. But when I got started working there, I realized that there was a bit of a mismatch. Even though I had amazing colleagues, I had amazing peers, the job itself, the culture of the company wasn't really suitable for me. So it was a bit too traditional. And you might have heard about the traditional companies in Japan. The working culture is toxic, and you have to go to nomikais, which is like drinking parties with your colleagues. You have to like bow to your boss and whatever. And a little bit of it was in this company, and I really didn't feel I should continue. I will tell you more about what Japanese traditional companies are who would love this kind of system, who would not like this kind of system. But for now, I'll just focus on my story. So after working for a year at that company, I decided it was time to move on. And I did a job search, a new job search. So already like an experienced worker. And I found this job, the current one I'm doing at a Japanese startup company. So I'm doing like a creative communication, branding, marketing, advertisement, and so on. I can use my language skill mostly. So I'm using my English and Japanese language skills. And yeah, it's kind of a happy ending. And I would like to pass this experience